Hey guys, it's Kesara, and today I'm going to be doing a review for We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. So I recently read this book because of a try a chapter tag that I recently did, and this was the book that I chose to read, and I'm actually really happy that I decided to read this book. I don't read a whole lot of YA books, but if I do read YA books, I'll read YA fantasy. By the way, this is the exclusive Owl Crate cover, in case you were wondering. It's a little bit more purple than the original cover, which is like blue and yellow more. I actually really like this version of the cover. I think it's really beautiful. So I decided to pick up this one because I really enjoyed the first chapter of this one. So the first chapter of this one is definitely introducing the Ars, which is a forest that is like completely shrouded in darkness, and like people cannot enter it, and it's just covering this land, and it's using this dark magic basically to push the people away from where they were before. And our main character Zafira is a huntress, and she's the only one who is able to go into the Ars and come back out and basically keep her mind and not go crazy or die in the Ars or anything like that. So I really liked the way this book began. It was definitely very interesting in the way that it began, and then we of course have this adventure that comes in that our huntress Zafira is chosen for because of her reputation as a hunter. So we're gonna get off on this mission because of that, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Zafira as a hunter, it just reminded me very much of Katniss from the Hunger Games. Like, I kept getting similar vibes back to the Hunger Games, and I actually really enjoyed the Hunger Games. So having a character like Zafira, I think, really helped me like become very attached to this book and this story. So I really enjoyed that about it. The other character that I really liked in here is Nasir, who is the Prince of Darkness, is what they call him. And he's just like, he's one of those people, like, he's been put in a bad situation. He's been made to do a lot of things that he wouldn't necessarily have done in another situation. And he's slowly realizing this and coming back to himself, and I love that about him. And the kind of relationship that happens between them, it was weird because I didn't expect to root for it, just because the way the setup was, like, I didn't expect to root for them, but I was rooting for it, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I did really enjoy the characters here. They weren't as developed as I would have liked them to be, but I have pretty high standards when it comes to character development, so I feel like that's okay. Like, it still was really good, and I really enjoyed it. The next thing I usually talk about is plot, and I do think the plot was a little meandering. It was a little bit of a weird plot just because a lot of the plot was action that happened on the island. There were some things that I felt like were a little contrived, like one of the things that was this big barrier was the Ars, and I just felt like they got through that barrier really easily, and then there was all of these things that were not built up to later on. There were like creatures and stuff that we hadn't really heard anything about before we got to them, that like just the tension didn't build up to it, and then they became a much bigger threat than some of the tension that had been built up and got cut really quickly. So I enjoyed the plot. It was fast-paced. It was definitely action-packed, but I just feel like there was a little bit of a weird tension in it that didn't quite work for me, if that makes sense. The next thing I always talk about is world building, and I absolutely loved the world building in this series. Magic definitely plays a big role in the world building, in like the landscape and the climate, in everything that goes into the world in this series. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I just felt like the way that it was done, the way the political system worked, and how the different countries or caliphates actually interacted with each other was really well done, and I think that I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Last but not least, I always talk about is writing style, and I actually picked up this book because of the writing style. Like, the first chapter really drew me in because I loved the imagery in the writing style, and that didn't really change throughout the whole thing. Like, I still really enjoyed the writing style. So overall, I found this book was really enjoyable. There were a few things in there that were not my favorite, but I really, really enjoyed it overall, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. If you guys have any thoughts or comments on this book, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to discuss it with you guys. I post videos at least weekly, so consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!